Cars are a broken mess. They have been for a while, and despite the old patch 119 fix, cars could still leave you shaking harder than a bad edible. But has this now been fixed? Well, here's everything you need to know about DayZ's new car update. If you liked the video, please leave a like or a subscribe, it really helps me out. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Wow, I'm Superman. You know, minus the wheelchair. So this patch actually comes with quite a few fixes as well. The first one, and probably the most player friendly one, is now when you're talking to other players in a vehicle, when it's driving, you can actually hear what they're saying more clearly. If you drive cars often with players, you understand how big of an update this actually is. A couple other quick changes is the Humvee's gearbox is now a lot smoother, and cars no longer fall through the floor or get partially stuck when falling from a height. But let's actually talk about the cars. Now, when they first announced this update, they did say that they actually took the technology from Armor. That being said, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to have the same effect, because you've got to remember, although they do own the technology and know how to use it, the engines it's being used on are vastly different. And in 2022, as I mentioned at the beginning, we did have a patch when the Humvee dropped, and that was supposed to sort these issues, and it never really did. Don't get me wrong, post 119 vehicles were much better, but they were never really to the standard that players expected. So then we have patch 128, and this is supposedly supposed to make the cars stop flying around. Now, the DayZ devs don't say that specifically. What they do say, and their exact words on this are, upgraded the networking for cars, improving most situations when driving a higher ping. However, I did some rigorous testing here. I broke a few servers, I used their servers, and I'm here to tell you what I found. So let's talk about DayZ's experimental servers first. So DayZ released servers specifically for you to test these cars. They are on the experimental, and they just say many cars at the end of the server name. So me and a bunch of friends decided to try our hardest to try and make the cars skip around, and honestly there wasn't really much skipping around. We had a few instances where the cars would sort of skip to the side a little bit, or jump or jolt. This seemed to be extremely bad when on Sakal and driving through the city. You know the one. But on these servers, none of us really made the car fly about, which is really a shame, because as a group we all made an agreement that whoever made the cars fly and kills first would get a group muffin. And I really like muffins. So although there were a few issues of jumping and jolting, there was no flying cars and there was no premature deaths based on this. But what about the broken servers? Because boy did I break those servers. And yeah, I had some pretty clear desync issues. However, when I did the old tests on patch 127, these issues were abundant and way more likely to happen. Pretty much on command, I could make a car fly away. And I did that for hours because I really wanted to test to see how it worked. And also because on this particular day, all my friends were working and I was alone and bored. Days off used to be way more fun as a kid. But across this time, I did find that the cars are now much more stable. They genuinely are. Like, it's not just something I'm saying. You can test these servers yourself in experimental. That doesn't necessarily mean the coast, but it is something you need to be wary of. To say that they're fixed is a crazy statement to make, and there's a lot to consider when you say it. What I will say is, for me, my experience and the experience of those who engaged with me and helped me out, they definitely were better, and I think a lot of players are going to be happy with this upgrade. But if you want to know how to find a car really quickly, then click this video here, or for something else, click here. And as always, until next time.